The first thing I'd like for you to do is to say your name and where you are from.
Kyriakos Moisidis, from Thessaloniki, Greece.
Do you live in Greece now?
I live in Greece now.
And you travel quite a bit, right?
Well, I do. Well, yeah.
Tell me about your career as an instructor of Greek dance. Where does that take you?
You want me to say everything? I mean, from the very first time? It's a long story.
I'm sure. Well, actually, I would like to hear about how you started.
Okay. So, first of all, where I born, when I raised, in my village, Prochoma, to dance someone, it was very, very common, the most natural thing. And in the traditional way, I mean, so we learned the dance from the elders and so on. Around 84, 85, 84 it was, we create an association there, cultural association, I mean, and we had also a dance group where I joined. Already in 85, after I learned some dances there in the association, I started to teach the younger children of the village. In 86, I started my studies in business administration in Thessaloniki, so I joined the Association of Pontic Students and some other groups in Thessaloniki. Many other association of students, like from Epirus, from Thrace, and from Creta. And this is how I started to dance more and more and more. And I started to teach also around, like at the Pontic students and other groups as well. It happens that at the same time, after we performed in my village, that my relatives would always say, "Wow, so nice, you dance so nice. But you don't dance, you don't do the dances like we used to dance." So this is how it born the idea of starting research. I mean, if we don't dance like them, then what we dance? Obviously, we did something wrong. And I started to research more and more and more. And this is how my research career is started. After the finish of my study, my military services were also in the military. I had also the dance group. I was teaching dance to as the soldiers. I started to work for a business. I was like administrator and marketing and almost doing everything in the northern part of Greece. So I worked more and more for this, and I had less and less time to dance. And after 4 years, I decided that this is not the life I like to do. And I quit and started to just dance and do more research and teach more groups so I can leave. And somehow I get involved also with seminars in Greece. So people around Europe get to know me more, and they invite me to have seminars in Europe. And then I went a second time to the university. I had my physical education studies with specialty on Greek dance. I started my own annual 10-day seminar in 2000. I create a lot of groups, including the group of the older people of my village who presented dances from their roots from Kars, which was unique because it was the only group actually with Pontic people, origin people to dance the dances the way they learned from their parents. And and then more and more seminars around the world and more research and some papers, a master. I started a master, never finished it, so. And here I am.
Wow.
This is very short. I mean,
yeah.
I could say a lot of things, but this is how it went.
yeah, when I read your bio a couple of places online, it's like they're leaving out a lot because I feel like in every part of your life there's probably a story. I want to hear, well, there's a lot of things I want to ask you about, but I want to hear about teaching the soldiers to dance when you were in the military. How did that, I wouldn't think that's something they would.
It happened, well, while in the military, I served in different places, mostly in Cyprus, as I was in the Greek force of Cyprus. This is how they call it, Elvik in Greek. And but even before, when I took the basic education in Sparta, I've been involved with groups around the army. I mean the place where I was serving. So I taught some dances at Lykion and Ellenidon of Sparta, but at Molai too. Anyway, when I went in Cyprus, they asked me to create the Fustanelades of Elvik. The Fustanella, you know what is Fustanella?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the Fustanella guys of Elvik, of the Greek force of, and because they knew that I was involved a lot with these things, and so we announced this that a group of dancers we will create it there, and we asked of the soldiers who was dancing before, who had some experience. So they came up like 10 of them, and I chose the half. I couldn't have more. So with me, there would be 6. And we were 6, were performing like we were representing the Greek force of Cyprus in many occasions, even at the presidential, I don't know how you call it, dinner of for the ambassadors, and or the in the national Cypriot TV RIC, they had some shows for the Eastern, for Pascha. So we did several things down there. Yeah, it was something.
That's interesting. And then was that in addition to your regular duties for the military?
Yes, exactly. I had to do this too. So
okay.
I had to prepare my soldiers to dance.
That is so funny.
And we asked from the Evzoni in Athens. You know, they have this. So the costumes we had, it was from them. The older costumes they had, they sent these costumes to us, so we had something to dress up.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask about the costumes. I'm like, if they had you make your own costumes, then that's crazy.
we took them from them. They sent us costumes.
Do they still do that in the military? Did that start?
I don't know if something like that still exists.
Would be interesting if it did. Do you have pictures of that?
I do. Actually, I do have some. Yes.
That would be. I'd like to see those. Put them online on your Facebook page or something.
Maybe I do have something on my Facebook. I'm not sure, though. I have to find them because, back then it was not really digitized.
Digitized, yeah.
So I had to transform them to scan them or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be fun to see those, I think.
Maybe I have some pictures on my Facebook. I mean,
I'll have to look. I haven't looked at your whole Facebook.
I have hundreds of pictures of in my Facebook, including one with judges of FDF at San Diego. Maybe I'm not sure.
Oh, good.
It could be that I have one like that too.
Okay. The other thing that I was really intrigued by, I didn't know that you did this, was the group of older people from cars.
This was a unique thing, really unique for the Pontian population of Greece. I mean, in other areas of Greece, in Thrace, in Macedonia, in Epirus, there were more groups like this, But for the Pontic population, it was the only one. So what I did, as I knew that there are many in my village good dancers, very good dancers, I knew it. A lot of them, they were my relatives. So I had a dream to present the traditions of my village in the most authentic way, as I was not happy of what was around, especially from the dance groups. So I decided to do this, even it was not really something common for Pontic population. They never had, and they don't have such groups. So I asked my mother, my aunts, my uncles to come and join me every week, specific time, and remember the old traditions and dances and how they dance them. At the beginning, it was really a little bit strange for them because it was unnatural for them. They didn't do something like this before. But somehow I succeed. So there were about 20 people from the village. I mean, some of them, they were some of the most good dancers in my village. And with them, of course, I never tell them what to do. I just ask them to dance the dances like the people they thought were dancing them very well, like the older of them, their parents or someone they could remember in the village who was a good dancer. Try to dance the dance like them and don't do the newer thing. And it was a very, very good experience. And because of this group, I also tried and started a very big research on the costume of the Pontic costume, going around Greece in several both private and public collections and find out one after the other the pieces and the different patrons and a lot of designs of we had as the broderies, I mean. So we did also, I think we were maybe the first or some of the first groups in Greece. We had really good Pontic costumes. And with them,
when you went around and did this research, like on Pontic costumes, who were you asking?
The one thing brings the other, asking here and there. As I told you, I was already part of before. I mean, when I was studying, I was part of the association of the which means I met a lot of people, and I was an active member of the Pontic communities in Thessaloniki. Friends from other associations, or I knew already that there are places with old costumes. I was teaching in many groups, so I knew what they have in their group, I mean from the altars, and asking the one breaks the other. And that's how it goes. And the people, they knew that I'm doing this, so they informed me, there is something there. Or I have something from my grandma. And And also I went at the most known places everybody who is involved with the Pontic culture knows, like Επιτροπή Ποντιακών Μελετών or Εύξηνος Λέσχη or these places. So
do you have a costume collection yourself, or did
we have a collection? Yes, we have some things. Yeah.
Okay.
I had also a lot of jewelry, but unfortunately, they stole it from me. They came in my house and they stole a lot of things I had.
Oh no! And they probably didn't do. Oh, I hope they at least know what they got.
I don't think so. They thought they were gold, but probably they threw them away. Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
I don't know what they did with them.
No.
But I lost some of the jewelry. Yeah.
That's heartbreaking, really.
Yeah. Anyway, this group of the elders gave me the opportunity to learn more and more and more about the dances of a Kars area from the region where my grand's born, and which is quite happy. And also, this group was actually the reason I came first for first time in United States.
Oh.
I came in touch with United States through this group, actually.
Really? How did that come about?
It was the International Dance Council or something like this. IOFA. IOFA is the name of this, and they were organizing every year in Greece a big conference, symposium about dance. So after I create this group, they want me to present the dance of my village in this symposium in Athens. And somehow I managed to find sponsors and money to take them, the whole group in Athens. And we went the same day. We had to perform. They had to perform, not me, of course. The dancers, they were waiting of me at the lobby of the hotel. And then there was Steve Theodosiadis from Seattle, who he was an instructor back then in Seattle, St. Dimitrios. He was in the same hotel, and when he saw the woman, he said, "What? What is this?" And then he talked with my mother.
Oh.
And my mother, when I came down to the lobby, introduced him to me, and we talked a little bit. So he liked what he seen, and he invited me at Seattle to teach at a Yasu conference, Yasu symposium, back in '99. The next year, 2000, we came back with a group. So this group of my village performed in Seattle. It was
exciting.
And there in Seattle, I met actually many of the people who were involved with the Greek dancing, and FDF too. I mean, a lot of the people of FDF were there. I met a lot of people.
The people that you brought there, this was the group of older people, including your mother.
Yes.
Oh, how fun!
It was one group of Thessaloniki. I was teaching in Thessaloniki, and the group of my village. It was a unique. I think these performances, the performance, because it was just one in Seattle, it was something unique because there was nothing like this happen the years later, at least abroad. And now, of course, it does not exist. The group either died, either cannot dance anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
But do you feel like that style of dancing that you've been able to teach that to a lot of other people? And
well, I was lucky. I was once I decided that I will do just dance, I had a lot of time to research and study the dances. So yeah, I think I know a lot of the stuff.
That kind of brings me to FDF, and you're judging there. What do you look for when you judge at FDF?
What? Excuse me, what?
What types of, because you're such an expert in different types of real Greek dancing, I'll call it real. What do you look for? What did you look for when you were judging at FDF?
Well, actually, this was one of my questions when being invited to judge. I mean, what I would judge. It was not obvious for me. It's very difficult to decide what to judge. You have to have rules. I mean, to what to watch, what to say it's good and what not. It's a very difficult thing to judge because the dance is not three things like it's the style, the rhythm and whatever. It's much more things. It's expression of feelings. It's and to judge these things, I mean, and also different regions have different. Anyway, it was very difficult for me to judge. I tried to write down comments of what I liked and what I didn't like, and yeah, I focused mainly on on the style and on the way they presented the dance. If they keep the basic rules of the dances, I mean the circle and such things. Um, I also try to see, um, you know, um, when you have a dance group, you can either you have some philosophy how you are going to present what you're doing. So either you have just your best dancers doing the performance, which means the rest of the dancers should remain back and they will not dance the dances, which is pity for them, or you use all of them no matter what, just because it's the joy of the dance. So I tried also to think that maybe some groups they didn't have this, I will use my best dancer, so I will have the best um,
performance.
yeah. Anyway, the I think what I tried it was if they had the proper music, the proper style, and the proper way of doing the dance. Um, but to judge in general, it's very difficult for Greek dance. I mean, there are thousands of things, thousands. Nobody knows them. Even the best expert doesn't know everything. So, and then you come to a point and say, now this thing, I don't really know it very well. So what am I going to judge?
Right.
And I think this is among every judge. It's not just for me. Yeah.
I know when I spoke with Nikos Moisidis, he was very opinionated about when he first went to FDF, but he went much earlier than you did.
Yeah.
And he said they weren't doing the dances at all, right? And he was giving them all zeros and stuff for their scores. But.
There were some groups they didn't really perform very well. It was obvious they didn't know the dances. Yeah. But as I told you, it's also under which circumstances they do this. I mean, maybe we should think also the try they have. If it is a small community somewhere very far, it's not the same like being in the center and have a lot of sponsors and money. So, which try is most important?
Right.
If I express it well, it is a different thing to be like 100 people in the middle of nowhere than to be in the middle of Los Angeles and you have everybody around you and support you with a lot of money and research and give you money to go to Greece and this and that.
Yeah.
When the others, they hardly can go to FDF. It's difficult. It's a different thing.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, competition is a competition, and and the best wins. But if we had to also to judge the try of the groups, then it's something else.
But that must come into the judging a bit, that you see that they're trying. There's spirits there, right?
Yeah. So I think judging it was a very hard. It gave me some hard time, and yeah, I also been disappointed sometimes because for me it was obvious that some groups they didn't do well. I mean they did mistakes on dancing, on the rhythm, on the way they were dance, but still they placed in a higher position than other groups who did better, which was. I felt bad for the others, but also I felt bad because when a group placed in a higher position, it means that other groups will take this performance on a video and watch it and they try to copy it, which means we spread the wrong thing around. So it's really, to judge is also a big responsibility because with your decision, maybe you affect the whole dance scene in the area here. And the wrong decision, it means that the wrong things go to be popular, which is not nice.
Yeah, I understand that could be a problem if you're just maintaining not very good dancing and passing it along.
So I didn't. So it was a pressure for me to be, to be more right on what I'm doing.
That's good. That's good to hear, actually.
But it was, when I first heard about FDF and competition, I said, "What? It's really, I don't like it." I mean, what's the meaning of competition? It didn't make sense to me. They compete of what? If the dances from Cyprus are better than the dance of Macedonia? I mean, it didn't make sense to me. But when I first judged in San Diego, it was, I think, and seen all these kids around singing, dancing, and do things, I said, well, maybe it's a competition, but still, because of the competition, we have all these people around, and they do all these things, it was really amazing. I loved it. It was so nice to see all these kids, especially for me, living in Greece, so it was the other part of the world, and do all these things. Hardly they were speaking Greek, but still they were singing their songs. It was a great experience. So, as everything for FDF, I think there is not black and white. There are things in the middle, good things and bad things. I mean, the competition includes good and bad things.
Right. I think it's like it's like any competition to me, not that it's about me, but when you even see like the Academy Awards or any kind of artistic competition, I'm like, how can you compare an acting performance to another one? But I guess people just like competition.
Yeah, probably. But there are things you can say, the positives, but also there are the negatives. For instance, you say, look, with the competition, we have all these kids, and they try their best to learn the song in a better way and dance the dances in a better way, which is very nice, very good. I like it. On the other hand, you see that these kids, they learn just 6 plus 6 dances for the 2 sets they have to prepare, and they have a whole year doing just these 12 dances again and again and again. Even with the same music, which is not nice. I mean, all this year they could learn more about the Greek traditions, and so it's not really black and white. It is, the good things and the bad things. I will not say an alternative would be better or not. Just I say my thoughts.
Yeah, and maybe it will change or go in a different direction, but I think I don't know if there's any movement towards that though in FDF.
I don't know. Back then I was trying to put down some improvements or some new things I would like to see in FDF as I experienced it. So I told them that they should maybe have some special classes for the instructors, classes about Greek tradition in general, or what's Greek tradition and such things, and ethnography, Greek ethnography, I mean, or even some experts to give some lectures there, and the instructor should be there. I mean, they shouldn't have another option. If they want to participate FDF, they should go there and learn things to these classes, or like a pre-FDF thing, or maybe a library or something. So things that FDF could also turn a little bit to the education thing, to give more education at this. I guess it was not easy thing having all these performances and still then the next day have a seminar or something. But Well, I believe always that when we have the shows, all these shows and spectacular things and this and that, we have also to think also about the most important things of what do we really want to do. And in my opinion, what we want to do is to preserve the Greek traditions and learn about them and see what are our roots and all these things. So this is what we had to keep in our minds and try to educate these kids.
And I don't know that I know that they have seminars at FDF, but they seem like they're more religious right now anyway than about Greek tradition.
Well, this is also another issue. Yeah. If the whole thing is about Greek dance or if it is about Orthodox religion. I mean, it's an issue. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is
it's what I told you before. Why we do this is to preserve our Greek traditions, or is to preserve our Orthodox heritage, for instance. I mean, it's not the same.
No. I'm finding too, as I've interviewed so many people and have done some research, that I would like to see, when I go to FDF, I'd like to hear the stories of the dances told, even briefly. And maybe the people who are there know them, but I don't think so. I think that would add to the experience for the people who are there.
Well, for me, if FDF could turn to a big educational party or something like this, it would be very nice. Where people, could compete also, the best of them could win their prizes. But also, everybody who participates there should earn things, and not just the 10, 12 dances they did the whole year.
Right.
Should earn something more about the what and the why and this and that. I mean, all these things. No.
Can I change the subject to Pontic dance?
To what?
To Pontian dancing.
Balkan dancing?
No, Pontic.
Pontic. Pontic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boy, my Greek accent's worse than I thought.
Okay.
Can you? Yeah, I know it's not easy to describe, but can you describe what it's like? What's different about it?
The differences between what, Pontic dancing and the rest of Greece?
Or just what characterizes it? Not everything. Not different from every. In other words, I've read. There's one description online that says all the Pontians dance in a circle with the same intensity. There is no lead dancer. It goes on from there, but I was wondering if that's true.
Well, in my opinion, and I criticize it as well in a paper, but anyway, my opinion is that the most, if not all, of the previous writers, people who wrote about Pontic dance, like Petridis and others, what they know about Pontic dancing, it was what they seen in some dance groups and in some areas where they were Pontic, but they didn't really examine the whole thing. They didn't have the knowledge of refugees of every part of Pontus, which means that they shouldn't talk about the Pontic dances, but about the specific dances they've seen or the specific region they studied. It is like they took a point, they took a little place of Pontus and they generalized it. They said, this is a Pontic dance, which is not. And what they write, it characterizes a certain area. So in my point of view, Pontic dance, more or less, it includes all the basic forms of the Greek dances, or the dances of the area, if we could say that, I mean, the greater area. And for sure, the dances around Black Sea, so Thrace and Pontus and all these places, which means they have the basic form, which is the circle, and they have also the basic patterns of the steps, the three, let's say, basic patterns of the steps, which are the patterns of statria, these 6 steps, which we find at Pontus Asomal and other dances, and Zonaradikos, for instance, in Thrace, or statria, Hasafia, etc. And also the Sirtos type dances, which in Pontus and Thrace actually are the only places we have in the rhythm of 9. And also the rhythm of Karsilamas, the 9 Karsilamas, which is the basic pattern of Vipat, one of the most basic dances in Pontus.
What's the word? I understand the rhythm of 9, but what was the other word you said?
I said about the dance Vipat, but on the rhythm of Karsilamas.
Okay.
The 9 Karsilamas rhythm, which is very, very, this rhythm is very, very popular among the Aegean part of Asia Minor and the area of Constantinople. So at Pontus too, we have a lot of such melodies, which includes one of the most basic dances of Pontus, Vipat. Now, for sure, at Pontus we don't have things like we have in Epirus, in Macedonia, in Thessaly, and these places in the mainland of Greece. We don't have, for instance, the first dancer doing his own tricks and things, and all the rest just look at him. But they are more group dances, so almost everybody is doing the same, and even the musicians could give orders like synchronized. I mean, everybody do the same thing, which is characteristic for the most of the Pontic dances. We don't have someone who's the first one who everybody stops and he's doing, I don't know, his things like Tsanko, for instance. We don't have something like this in Pontus. Okay. So this is one basic difference. But the other things more or less are the same. I mean, we mostly have all these dances with the songs. I mean, slower dances, they sing a lot and they dance. But of course, we have also the faster ones. So,
and I think the faster ones are the more well-known, at least familiar.
Yeah, but you know, it's another thing what the group do and what happened in a real party, in a real festival, like in a wedding or something. They would mainly dance the slower dances for a long time, and at the end they would have the fast thing, and then again the slower and a little bit of the fast thing. So the faster dances were like a small part of the whole thing. Now it's the biggest part of the whole thing. I mean, what the groups present, but it's not the real thing.
That's not really how it was.
Yeah, if you would take the percentage of what they did in the weddings and put it on the scene, probably it would be a very boring thing for the others. So, so yeah, but this happened, you know, in every place. I mean, in Creta, you see all these wow dances, but usually they were keep singing and dancing that statria type dance the whole time, and then they took the pick. I mean, at the end, doing all these fancy steps. everywhere. I think everywhere in Greece it was like this, and it makes sense. I mean, they cannot dance all the time, like.
No. Yeah, you can. And then I've also heard that Pontian dancing is a lot of times warlike because.
This is. Excuse me for my expression, but this is bullshit.
Oh, good. Okay.
Sorry to say, but this is a big foolish.
And what? Tell me why. Why does it have that reputation? That might be a better question.
First of all, the story is like, you know, we have to somehow make the people say, wow. So it started in the 60s when the first Pontic groups established in Greece, and they started to perform also abroad. So they came across with the Bulgarian groups who had a tradition in choreography and do more professional things. So they had somehow to compete with them. So they start to choreograph the dances and also to explain the dances, like, oh, this is the war dance. When someone hears this is a war dance, they say, wow, look, the war dance.
Yeah.
But people, when they dance a war dance, it is really something special, very special, and they will do it like certain times and really not in every time. I mean, it is something really special. So, no, the Pontic dances are not war dances. Mostly our dances, either the songs and everything has to do with the love, or it has more funny. They describe funny things, or it has to do with their life, with their normal life. I mean, so among all the dances of Pondos, I could see only one dance which we could say that it is a dance which has to do with the war, and it is the dance with the knives.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, I guess it's a marketing thing that because it's dance with knives.
You can call it like that, marketing thing, yes. But no, I'm sorry, it's not a war dance. No.
Okay. Writing down some notes here.
No. The Pontians are not these wild people who think only war.
No.
It's really no.
What are they like, if you were to describe them?
Well,
your relatives, say, your ancestors.
I don't think they are really different with they are. Well, they had a very, very big appreciation of hospitality. I mean, they were, for sure. I even remember in my village, for instance, when a stranger, would come in the village and he didn't have where to stay, people even go out of the main, they would offer him the best bed. They would go out of their own room and say, "Now you will sleep here. We're going to sleep in the couch," and such things. They could offer him the best of the food, the little food they had. They were very, very friendly. Very friendly, yes. And they have this sense of community, so they support a lot each other. You can see this in the dance too. It is a community thing. This is why they dance all together. Through dance, you can find a lot of things about the communities. How they've been. Well, you see, my English are not good. how they build their communities. What are the rules of the community? So, what happened in their social life, it happened also in the dance. So you go there, they dance. If they will see you, they will take you to dance with them. They will make you part of the whole thing of the dance. In other places, you go there, they don't allow you to dance. You have to wait. And when your turn is coming, then you can dance. So you see the difference. This is how it was also the society back then. So at Pontus we have the community. They decide, like the whole community, and they support each other. In other places we have the chief. They have someone who rules the family and the family around him. So he takes his family and they dance, and he will rule the dance, or he will ask someone of the family, now you rule the dance, and all the rest should just watch us. This is, for instance, this is why we have at Pontus these community dances, or in Epirus we have the dance of the one, Tsamikos, and he dances alone when the rest just look at him. What it reflects? It reflects that this was how the community was.
Right.
So he was really the leader, and the rest. But in Pontus we don't have the really leader. We have the community. Not that they were not people who were like leaders, but you see that it is more community things.
Interesting. Do these sorts of traditions, are they just historical, or do these in Greece, I guess more than the United States, do they still reflect the society at least in the villages, or?
You mean if these things still exist?
Yeah.
Well, they are not so strictly like it used to be before. But even today, you could see in some villages, they keep doing it the same way. But for Pontians, they are refugees. You have also to think about this. They are refugees. And actually what they brought from Pontus, because of the way they left as refugees, it was not the easiest way to leave the place, your homeland. It's actually what they had inside them. So dance is for them, for Pontius, is not just making fun and have some entertainment and good time. I think for them, more or less, dance was also like an identification, like an ID. And through dance, they could express who they are, what they brought from there. When they were dancing in a wedding, it was like they were going back to their place. They did the same things, they sang the same things, and danced the same things. It's quite a strong thing. Dance is a strong thing.
I read somewhere that refugee populations or displaced people, all in their minds, they think they're going back, and then at some point they know they're not, but they want to hang on to that in whatever way they can, that identification.
Actually, yeah, a lot of them, they thought that they will go back. They didn't believe that it would be something permanent. They thought that it is temporary, and things will be changed again, and we'll go back to our places. I remember a story of an old guy who died around 95 or something like this. So when he was about to die, he said to his daughter, "So we will not go back?" Till the end of his life, 70 years later, he was still expecting to go back.
That's interesting. It's just that it's so strong, I think.
Yeah.
But desire.
Of course, I don't believe that there is someone now who expects to go back.
No. Well, it's not the same. I mean, it would never.
Yeah, we never. A lot of us, we never been there. We don't even know. We don't have a. It is more like a fantasy, like in our minds that there were the places, but I born in Macedonia. My father born in Macedonia, so I know my heritage, but I don't expect to go back at the area where my grandfather born.
I think that's true all over the world. I think of where my parents were born, and even here in the United States, and how much it's changed since.
Yeah.
Since they lived there. So even when I go back to where my parents and my great-grandparents are from, I remember parts of it from childhood, but it's never going to be the same as your memory.
Exactly.
Okay. there's so much I could ask you about. Is there anything that I showed Anne our website this morning that we're working on. We're also working on a documentary, as you know. And is there anything that you would like to communicate, either about the importance of Greek folk dance to you, or in terms of FDF, what it means to the students who continue to learn?
Well, what I would say is that I hope that such a big thing like FDF, which brings together so many people, so many young people with Greek roots,
Mm-hmm.
to maintain these traditions. And yeah, I think what I said before about an educational, let's say, organization or something, I hope they will do it. I hope they will try to educate better the instructors, and if not just the instructors, maybe all of the kids in the Greek traditions, and teach them what is this about.
Mm-hmm.
I believe this is something is missing. I don't think that a lot of the kids know what they do.
Right. One other question. Is there a place where I can find some of your writing? I looked on academia.edu, and because you've written papers, and I don't know where to, are they?
I don't know if some of them are available. Well, I have something in my website, which is Moisidis Dance GR.
Okay.
I think you can find this. I think you can find the address also on my Facebook. I believe I have it down there. So I think I have there a couple of articles.
I'm looking right now to see if,
Moisidis,
because on this website, I think it would be good to.
I think if you write down my name in Google, it will come up. If you write, for instance, Moisidis Kyriakos, but Moisidis with I, everything with I. Kyriakos is with Y. And write also a dance or something like this, it will come up.
It comes up with your Facebook page and a lot about your seminars, but I guess if I just keep looking, I'll probably.
It doesn't appear my website, Moisidis?
Yeah. Well, your website comes up first. Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I just need to look there to find the papers.
I'm not sure I have it both in English and Greek.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it's in English.
The site has two parts. It has a Greek part and an English part. But anyway, there is a section which says articles and publication.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I have something there too.
I'll keep looking because you have a lot on your site. Can you, what's going on with your Pontos project?
My Pontos project was last summer.
Okay, I didn't know if I watched the video online, and that was all Greek, but.
So there was a preview of the DVD online.
Yeah.
And it was briefly what happened during the 10 days of Pontos project. Now I have the Evros project in Thrace. So this is my next thing. So, and you interviewed a lot of people, and so is that available on DVD? What we do during this project is that I choose from a specific region, for instance, Pontos or Evros, different villages with different traditions and dances and songs.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the lessons in the morning. So we teach the participants the dance of the specific village. And then in the evening, we go at this specific village, see the place, the people, and talk with the people and have a festival with them. So the people will see what they learned in the morning, how is the real thing in the evening.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that from.
This was the main idea, because I often, try to, say to people, how do you know what I'm teaching you is not my imagination? If I didn't just create it up. So
choreography.
Well, believe it or not, a lot of times happening. So,
I know, I've heard, yeah.
So this is why I said, okay, we are going to do this in the morning and then go and see it in the real thing in the evening. And
wow.
We can discuss what we've seen and what we done and what we learned. And of course, the people there, they prepare some food for us and they dance with us.
Mm-hmm.
What
a great way to learn.
Yeah, I try to do this as long as I can do it, because also in Greece it's not like it will be forever. I mean, the older people are getting older and older. You cannot do it all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Are the young people in the villages, are they?
Well, it's not the same.
No,
it's not the same.
Everything changes.
Yeah.
How is it to be in Greece these days? All we get is bad news.
Well, usually what they show on the TV is, it's extremely bad. It's not that bad, but still it is bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, usually the news are really, you hear the news and you think it is like a war. It's not like a war, but still it's a bad situation. It is a crisis,
mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Oh, well, unless you have something to add, I think this has been a great interview for me.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.